Boar's Head is bringing a slice of Japan to the deli. Introducing Boar's Head Ichiban Teriyaki-style chicken. Tender, slow-roasted chicken breast, coated in our signature teriyaki glaze, where ginger, garlic, and a hint of brown sugar meet for a flavor that's both sweet and savory. New Boar's Head Ichiban Teriyaki-style chicken. The bold flavor of Japan. Now at the deli. Only from Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.
Blog Talk Radio.
Well, good evening, folks. And look who's back in the program in here. Once again, it's Ghost with another edition of True Conservative Radio. And I want to thank you if you happen to be tuning in with me, whether it's live or on the archive. I really appreciate it. I know most folks are out there wondering what in the blue hell happened to Ghost out here. Well, unfortunately, folks, I fell victim to certain ailments that prohibited me from coming up on here because, like everybody who has patronized my program and listens to me on a consistent basis, you know that I get a little hostile. And occasionally I blow a head gasket. And unbeknownst to me, or at least people out there have told me that it is not the best for my health, and obviously I have felt the recourse of all those tirades that I went on the program out here and decided to take a little bit of a sabbatical away from the program, but I am back. This is just an impromptu show here. It is 1 a.m. here in Texas, 12 a.m. Wherever the hell, I think Midwest or some kind of garbage like that, but besides the point. The point is, folks, is that up on here, it looks to me that lots have changed out here since I was on here last in the Blog Talk Radio Network. We have ourselves a lot of reality stars, a bunch of B actors, and a bunch of Nimrods whose career has been flushed down the proverbial toilet out here that are utilizing the Blog Talk Radio Network as some sort of a venue to somehow captivate some sort of a career out here. And I think it's absolutely disgusting. And like I said, folks, this is an impromptu show, so I'm just going to go off on random thoughts. I mean, there's a lot that has happened since the last time I was broadcasting here on the Blog Talk Radio Network. Now, like I said previous, folks, I mean, anybody who's heard my show on a consistent basis knows that I scream my head off. I'm passionate. I mean what I say what I mean whenever I'm on this program. And once again, the reason I've taken such a sabbatical away from the program is because it affected my health. And, the doctor tells me I should have taken the show and shoved that down the toilet because it's causing me all kinds of problems, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it because there are too many important subject matters that need to be discussed out here that nobody's doing. All right? I mean, I've been listening to the Blog Talk Radio shows out here, and there's a few of them that I find amusing, but for the most part, they are filled with nothing but a bunch of no-personality having jag-offs that are providing no type of discourse whatsoever to progress the enlightenment of society, And it's absolutely sickening to me that nobody is talking about subject matters that are going to affect American people. And, of course, if you patronize my show, you understand that these issues really burn the pit of my stomach. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if I had a damn ulcer because of all the problems that I am witnessing here in my great country, America. Now, since we talked last, folks, I know that we talked, it's been some time since I've been on here. I know I talked a little bit about Elliot Spitzer and about his philandering ways and how I was glad he stepped down because he basically jeopardized the moral integrity of that office that he sat in, and he was a complete hypocrite. I mean, this is a man who's prosecuting prostitution rings, and yet what is he doing? He's patronizing the damn places. I mean, what kind of hypocrisy is that? That was the last thing I talked about. I was very angry about it, but I'm glad the man stepped down. He saved face. But I'm just, since I haven't been on Blog Talk Radio, folks, I've been out and about. All of you folks know that I'm a businessman. I have a variety of different ventures, so I've been sitting at these ventures just observing the general American public, seeing what the general American public likes, don't like, what they're doing, what they're thinking, their activities. I mean, observation is definitely a key point when trying to figure out the landscape of America. And for all you folks that know me, you know you know that I absolutely despise what has transpired, not only on the political front here in America, but at the social landscape level. I mean, once again, I don't mean to reiterate this, but it's something that's near and dear to my heart, the feminist movement, okay? The feminist movement is ruining America day by day by day. And I am an unapologetic anti-feminist because I think feminism and ultraliberalism, and we've discussed this before, folks, it's rooted in communism. It's rooted in communism. These morons at Frankfurt University that started that damn university, these devout Marxists, these people created these concepts. They created feminism. They created political correctness. And if you don't believe me, why don't you go ahead and do your own research and you'll realize that the people that started this university, the people that started Frankfurt University, these are the people that created all these divisive concepts that we're witnessing here in present-day America. And let me tell you something, folks. The feminist movement is ruining the moral integrity of this country. And I know that there's people out there that listen to me, whether it's live or on the archive, saying, well, here he goes again. Here he goes again. And it's probably a woman saying it, with all due respect to the female contingent out there. But the bottom line is you females that write me all kinds of nasty emails, that send me death threats, and all this other nonsense, you people are so anesthetized with the propaganda being fed by such mouthpieces like Gloria Steinem and all these other bull-nosed, bull-dyke, hairy-armpitted pieces of trash out here that are feeding your head with absolute garbage. And the reason I'm saying they're feeding your head with absolute garbage is because just look at what has happened. Look at what has transpired here in America. And I hate to keep repeating this, but most folks have the slightest idea what feminism is doing, not only to America, but to the westernized nations of the international community. I mean, the social ills are becoming the social norms out here. I mean, I was sitting at my businesses. I'm not going to say what business I'm in, but a lot of the patronizing public, all right, the patronizing public out here patronizes my establishment. You know what I hate seeing? I hate seeing a single woman out here, leeching on about 3 or 4 different kids without any type of a father figure around. Now, most people will try to say, well, Ghost, that means they could be out by themselves. The father could be working. That is malarkey, and anybody with any type of true observation knows it. The bottom line is, folks, is that the majority of America, the modern-day American family, is a broken family. I mean, don't people understand out here that this whole concept of feminism, this ridiculous notion of feminism, it equates feminism with women going out and thinking that they can go ahead and have 5 or 6 kids from 5 or 6 different fathers, and that's woman liberation. 5 or 6 different divorces, that's woman liberation. I mean, equating materialism with relationship and romanticism, that's woman liberation, folks. That's what the feminism defines as woman liberation out here. And it's sad because, I mean, I'm talking to colleagues of mine that patronize the Chamber of Commerce in my local city here. And a lot of these guys are resorting, and it's really sad. It's really disgusting, but they're resorting to getting these, what do you call it, mail-order brides. You ever heard of this concept? Well, apparently what happens in this mail-order bride crap, they look up some website. I don't know what website they're looking on, but they're looking, and they're looking at females from all over the country, Asia, Europe, Latin America. And these are women that want to get married for citizenship. And what happens is some service gives a gentleman or prospective gentleman an address to a woman that he finds, whether it's attractive or appreciates the ad, whatever the case might be. They exchange the address for a small fee, of course. And what happens? Well, the man corresponds with this female in another country, and of course they get married, and she becomes a United States citizen. Well, people are actually resorting to this crap as a substitution for the modern-day relationship. And why are they doing this, folks? I mean, why are men actually resorting to basically mail-order brides? It's because of the feminist movement, folks. It's the damn feminist movement out here. I mean, and I've said this time and time again, you know, the feminist movement has turned a modern-day westernized female into a subliminal prostitute. I mean, if you don't believe me, why don't you go take a good whiff of the entertainment arenas, all right? Take a good look at the music icons that are women out here. Madonna, Beyonce Knowles, and all these ridiculous materialists that are out here equating materialistic accumulation and monetary gain with relationships. I mean, and this is what's corrupting the very gift of that life gives us. You know, the best things in life are free, folks. But at this point, the feminist movement has corrupted women's minds so much that nowadays women are basically not going to get into a relationship unless a man is going to provide her all kinds of materials and money and $1,000 weekly shopping sprees and all this nonsense. And that's the majority, folks. Don't think that I'm speaking because I'm bitter. I'm married. I've been married for a long time out here. I've got children. I got grandchildren. I'm not speaking for myself. I'm speaking for the modern-day social landscape out here. And what affects the modern-day social landscape out here, when it becomes the majority, it's not going to affect me. It's going to affect the future generations descended from me. And that's what I'm worried about. I know everybody could give two rats' asses about it, but that's what I'm worried about out here, and nobody seems to care. Of course, the females that patronize my show, you know, they're going to threaten me. They're going to, you know, call me all kinds of four-letter words. They're going to send personal attacks, death threats, and I receive that on a consistent basis. I haven't been on this show for a month, and I receive every single day death threats from feminists. It's ridiculous, and it makes me want to puke. Because I don't understand why or how this happened. It happened right before our eyes, folks. I mean, this is a recent phenomenon here. Okay, I mean, I remember a day when you were shunned, you were outcasted if you had a child out of wedlock, you were completely called a Jezebel or a moron if you got a divorce. Now it's common practice. Now, you know, it's a prerequisite for meeting somebody, for Christ's sake. And this is what I'm talking about, folks. And any time I try to facilitate a discussion on this subject matter, of course, I'm always chastised by anybody who's a female. Now, once again, I don't mean to generalize all females in that manner, because I know that there's some conservative women out there who still believe in moral integrity and family values and that sort of thing, and I appreciate you for that. I think that women that abide by their marital sanctity, that abide by their moral integrity, that have values, that believe in the family, I commend you, females. I commend you, women. You are truly a gift. But nowadays, even those women are being corrupted by this feminist garbage. And it's propagandized everywhere. I mean, look in the media. Look in the media. Haven't you noticed that every sitcom is about some strong-willed woman keeping the house together, and the man involved in the relationship is always some dumb buffoonery, lucky to have met her? I mean, haven't you noticed that? Every damn talk show, or every damn sitcom is based on that premise. And it makes me want to puke. But you see, nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about Beyonce Knowles blatantly saying in her lyrics that you can pay your bills, you can pay your telephone bills, and then maybe she can chill. I mean, this is the type of mindset we are relaying to our generations out here. And then we wonder why our children are becoming a bunch of sexual deviants out here. You know, I mean, you know, the recent phenomenon is that you actually have teenage females that are going to shopping malls in America that are actually going up to men that they suspect have some sort of cash flow in their pocket right then and there. And what are these teenage girls doing? Well, they're offering sexual favors in exchange for money so they can go out and buy their materialistic widgets. That's the modern-day American female. That's what we're relaying to our teenage and younger generations out here. I mean, isn't this great, folks? I mean, isn't it absolutely great? I mean, you can even look on the damn, you can do on the damn, look, oh, excuse me, I got a little tongue twisted there, but you can look on the TV, I have a granddaughter who watches these child programs on all these child-driven networks. And what is the premise of most of these damn programs? Well, I'll tell you. Single-parent families. All right? That's the premise. That's the premise of most of these programs out here. And is this what we're promoting? I mean, have we become that liberal that we just want to desolate the American family? We want to just cripple it, tear it apart, make it non-existent out here? I just don't understand why nobody else is talking about these subject matters out here. All right? I mean, I just don't understand it. And I have a feller here in the chat room, Jaded Man, who obviously understands where I'm coming from. And I'm not basing this on any sexist or any kind of misogynist perspective. You see, that's what most females try to twist this discourse that I provide. They try to twist it as if I'm some sort of a misogynist pig, and that's wrong. I've been married for a long time. I have children. I have grandchildren. And that's based on the fact that my significant other, my wife, she understands the sanctity of marriage. She understands the sanctity of family. She understands this. But you see, most females in today's day and age, and you have to credit the feminist movement, all right? The feminist movement out here. And, of course, I had a female enter the room, and she left real quick. Hey, didn't you notice that, Jaded Man? I had a female, the only female in the room out here. She listened to me for about 2 minutes and heard me talk against women, and what did she do? Oh, my God, I'm not going to listen to him. He's a misogynist. He's a chauvinist. It's ridiculous. But you see, these damn females, they don't want to face up to it, because you want to know why? A man that can see through the feminist facade finally is exposing the truth. And the truth is, folks, is this feminist movement is making most women, and unbeknownst to them, okay, philanderous, subliminal prostitutes. It's what it is, okay? Why do you think men are buying $2,000 suits, $10,000 watches, $70,000 cars? Why are they purchasing all these materialistic widgets? Is it to pursue their own materialistic needs? Hell no. It is not. Because that attracts women, folks. All right? Materialistic, expensive widgets attracts females in the modern day America. I mean, what kind of garbage is that? I mean, are we serious here? I mean, this is what I'm talking about. By very definition, that is prostitution. And I don't understand why the average everyday female, even though I'm providing substance on the debating table every time I talk about this subject matter, why these females don't want to face up to the obvious. I mean, all they want to do is flap their fat bonbon-stained fingers on the keyboard and call me all kinds of four-letter words and personal attacks, but they don't want to provide substance. You want to know why no feminist provides substance? And I've been on this show for a long time, and no feminist has called my show. No feminist has come up and said anything. You want to know why? All they do is agitate. All they do is, oh, you misogynist, you chauvinist, like a damn sheep or a goat. You want to know why? Because feminism is communism, all right? You can look it up for yourself if you don't believe me. Frankfurt University. All right? Look it up. I mean, communism uses agitation as a method of propaganda. I mean, communism is alive and well, folks. All right? And Jaded Man says we have a total role reversal. You're damn right. You're damn right we're having a total role reversal. You know, since I've been gone, folks, I've acquired a new business, and I'll go ahead and let you know. I've been talking a lot about alcoholic beverage establishments since I've been on here. And I decided to go ahead and invest in an alcoholic beverage establishment. It's nothing fancy. It was something that was already built. It actually belonged to a friend of mine in the Chamber of Commerce. He needed to get rid of it. He gave me a good price. I bought it, and I've been there for a little bit. It's actually very funny to observe. I mean, it was a turnkey operation. It was a good buy. But you know what happens here? It just proves my point every time I just sit back and watch what is happening to America. You have women going into this place, which I don't mind because I capitalize on it, but it makes me sick from a moral standpoint. These women go into this bar with no money. Okay, not $1 to their name, and yet at the end of the night they're plastered. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the night they're plastered out here. All right? I mean, this is what I'm talking about out here. I mean, this is disgusting. All right? Not only that, you've got the same women going there every single weekend, all right, trying to find somebody who's going to take care of them and their kids. Oh, I mean, it's just nonstop, for Christ's sake. I mean, these women are actually going to the club, not to have a good time, okay? Not to have a good time, which is supposed to be, a bar's place. A bar's supposed to be a venue where you're supposed to let loose and have a good time. No, these women are actually shopping for potential, sugar daddies or whatever they want to call it. Instead of staying with the man that impregnated them and being a wife and trying to understand the sanctity of marriage and the sanctity of impregnating somebody, no, they want to go out and, chivalry has been correlated with, you basically flipping the tab for everything out here when it comes to a female. And let me tell you something, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with flipping the tab, but since I've owned this bar for a short time, I've actually seen males, they'll go in, they'll see a few females by themselves, and they'll say, hey, let me go ahead and buy you a drink. And this is the trick, and I've already noticed it. What happens is the male goes up to the bar, and obviously the female's going to follow him because she wants a, free drink. Drink is like a $4, $5 investment. And you see, the bartender goes up and says, hey, what do you need? And, of course, the man, being the gentleman that he is, he's going to give her a drink first. He's okay, what do you want to drink? And, of course, the philanderous whore bag will say, oh, I want, this drink. So he'll get the drink, and, of course, the bartender will make that drink first. And once the drink's made, the bartender gives the drink to the female, and then he goes, okay, what do you want, sir? And then he'll say his drink, and then once the bartender is making the gentleman's drink, that woman's gone. She's gone with that drink. The man hasn't even paid for it, and she's gone. She's gone away. And this is the game that we're playing out here. I mean, this is ridiculous. It's sick, man. And I know that the bar is not a good, I guess, observation arena to witness what's going on out here, but I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it. It seems to me that the modern male in today's society is not, they're not like meeting females traditionally. It's like they're paying for their time. And I'm glad I made this venture because it's given me an opportunity to witness firsthand what in the blue hell is going on out here. I mean, it seems like you have to pay for a woman's time, and you don't even know these women. All right, and you're paying for their time. All right, you start off with one drink, and, of course, the woman's going to buy the most expensive drink on the menu. Okay, and then you're sitting there, and you're talking to her, and of course, you're the one that has to sit there and initiate something. All right? I mean, and what happens? Nothing. Now, you got to buy her another drink. All right, and then another. And then by the end of the night, you've already dropped $25 on this ditzy Jezebel. And then what do you do after the bar? Well, you have to go out to these after-hour diner places. Say, hey, you want to come by, have some late-night dinner over here? And who's going to pay for that? Well, the man's going to pay for that. And then when the man pays for that, he's going to take her home, and what's going to happen? Oh, well, thank you. He'll get a hug and maybe a kiss on the cheek, and he'll hope that philanderous, materialistic, subliminal prostitute will even call his ass. And that's the way it is. That's modern-day America. That's modern-day American relationships right there. All right? And, people will say, well, you're not supposed to meet people at a bar. Well, why in the hell are you supposed to meet people? I'm married. I could care less. I'm just worried because I have employees, and these are 20-something-year-old guys. They're all single. I mean, they're all single, for Christ's sake. And, they tell me all the time, they're like, boss, it's hard to find a female out here. And I question them. I say, well, why? What's going on? Well, all they want is money. All they want is money and me to buy them things, and they have no emotion. They've disconnected themselves from any type of true emotion based on romance or love or anything like that. The feminist movement has literally disconnected the woman from these concepts and has made her completely material-driven. I mean, wasn't it Madonna that said she's a material girl living in a material world? I don't think we should underestimate that statement, and that was made in, what was it, 1985? Well, since 1985, it has become a material world. Now, I understand that capitalism makes our world go round. Don't get me wrong. But it seems to me, and this is based on pure observation, that the material world, or capitalism, is ruining life's free gifts. And what is life's free gifts? Life's free gifts is love, family, you know, a kinship between your daughters and your sons. I mean, those types of things. And to me, I think that materialism is ruining it. It's ruining the sanctity of what used to be the essence of life. Everybody out here is so consumed with, oh, I better go out and work 50, 60 hours a week so I can go out and get the $4,000 plasma screen TV. I need to go out and get this and get that and put things on credit and all that nonsense. And you see, once, 40 years goes by in your life and you've slaved your ass, because that's what most people are doing. All right, most people are slaving their ass, and I feel bad for them. But they're doing it voluntarily, unfortunately. And once 40 years goes by and, you spent your whole entire life on the grind, so to speak, and then you look back and you're like, wait a minute, 40 years just passed me by. I mean, what do I have to show for it? Sure, I've got a whole bunch of materials. Great. Sure, I've got a good bank account. Great. But do you have a wife that really loves you? Probably not. Do your kids even give two rats' asses about you? Probably not. I mean, this is what's sad, man. I mean, we need to get beyond thinking that the bane of our existence is being a consumer. And I'm a businessman, and I'm telling people this. Because there is more to life than going out and being some consumeristic leech. I mean, we have to understand that we were not put on this earth to be an absolute battery, is basically what we are out here. And what concerns me is that people are working harder and harder in today's America. The wages are getting lower and lower. The jobs are getting scarce. We produce nothing anymore. And you see, to me, I think that people are going to continue to do this with the notion that, somehow this whole material world that we're living in here is going to continue on without any kind of distraction. Once again, folks, you're sadly mistaken. All right? I mean, we're living in some precarious times right now. I mean, our economy is crippling. It is, folks. I know that people, they criticize me. I get a lot of emails from people thinking that, the economy's great. Obviously, they don't know economics like a bunch of morons. And you see, that's the epitome of ignorance, folks. People that have opinions about crap they know nothing about. Those people should be repeatedly beaten in the head with an Acme brick. But I'm getting off the subject. The subject matter here is our economy. The economy is tanking. Let me tell you why it's tanking, folks. Because we've signed these ridiculous trade deals with these third world countries that have sent the means of production out of the United States, and they put them in such countries like China, communist China, all right, South America, Taiwan, India. All these jobs are being shipped overseas. And what does that do? That displaces American people, American workers. Now, how are they going to go out and make some more money? Well, they have to go out and find new jobs. Well, here you got a government that is basically opening up their borders and saying, come on in. 25 million illegal immigrants in this country today. I'm down here in Texas. I'm at the front lines of this crap, and I'm seeing it with my own eyes. So the jobs that are being sought after by the people that have been displaced by the outsourcing of jobs, they now have to compete with 25 million illegal immigrants that'll work for $2 an hour and work about 80 hours a week. I mean, that's what the American person has to deal with now in today's economy. And then you have to think about this enormous debt we're accumulating out here, this ridiculous deficit, And I'm not talking about our own personal debts. I mean, the average American is in debt out their eyeballs, and they're basically submitting themselves into subliminal serfdom. I'm talking about the debt that the American government is inflicting upon us. All right? I'm talking about this $15 million an hour war that we got going on over here. Now, I wasn't against the war. If you look back on my shows, you knew I was for the war. What I'm not for is indebting ourselves and basically flipping the bill for this war. I mean, do you remember when we went into World War II? We demanded that those damn limey Brits pay us back with interest. And they barely finished paying us back in the 90s. How come no president or presidential candidate or congressman or senator, how come nobody's calling for the Iraqi people, all right, to pay us back for liberating their unappreciative ass? How about that? I mean, here we are, we've invaded this country, all right? We've liberated these pieces of garbage, all right? We basically have occupation over the country, and yet gas prices are through the roof. Now, can somebody answer me what in the hell's going on out here? We are sitting on the second largest oil deposit in the world, okay? And yet gas prices are going through the roof. And at the same time, we're accumulating $15 million an hour in debt. On top of which, we're even putting ourselves in more debt by these economic stimulus package. Oh, I mean, come on, folks. Isn't that one step to socialism? All right? Isn't that one step to socialism, this damn economic stimulus package? I thought that was the most ridiculous precedent that was set by George W. Bush. And let me tell you something, folks. I'm very disappointed in George W. Bush. All right? I thought he was a great president. But you want to know why he pushed forth this economic stimulus package? He doesn't want to be in the office when this economy finally cripples. I mean, we've already heard that 1 in 5 people, or 1 in 5 homes are being foreclosed in America. All right? I mean, people are in debt out their ass cracks. I mean, there's no jobs out here anymore. We have set economic precedent by consuming more than we produce as a country. I mean, don't people understand this? Don't people understand that during the Great Depression, we actually produced products back then? Doesn't everybody remember that or read a history book or something? We were producing planes and cars and manufacturing all kinds of goods, and yet we still went into a Great Depression. Now, here we are, 2008. We are sitting here now consuming more than we produce, and yet there's no economic depression. Now, why is there not an economic depression if we're consuming more than we produce? Well, I'll tell you why, folks. Because of our ignorant selves. I mean, America is the epitome of ignorant bastards. And if you're American, I'm sorry. And you're not ignorant, I'm sorry. But the bottom line is the only thing keeping our country and our currency afloat is our ignorant faith in it. Don't you understand that? I mean, it's our faith in this American dollar that's keeping it going. You know, Bear Stearns was, you know, in some precarious situations. They were about to go under. But the government bailed them out. Now, why did the government bail out Bear Stearns? Some financial institution that, you know, should have been, you know, the CEOs of that place should have been in jail. But we bailed them out. Our taxpaying, well, not our taxpaying dollars, China's lent dollars bailed out Bear Stearns. Now, why did they bail out Bear Stearns? Well, I'll tell you why. Because they know from the Great Depression that once the American people finally get it through their thick numbskulls that this economy is tanking, they're going to go to the bank and they're going to take out their money. This is what happened during the Great Depression. During the Great Depression, people started seeing a shady economy a little bit. It scared the bejesus out of people. They all went to the bank, tried to pull out their money. And, of course, the bank at some point finally ran out of money because, I mean, what does the bank do with your money? Well, they lend it out to businesses and to people that are borrowing money from the bank. Well, as a result of all the people trying to make a run at the banks, you have these banks trying to call back these loans. I mean, they were instantly calling back loans from businesses, and these businesses, of course, didn't have the money. So what happened? Well, the liquidation of businesses happened out there. Back then, a lot of jobs were lost. All because of the run at the banks. Now, why haven't we had a run at the banks today? Because we're stupid. We are stupid people, and I hate to say that, folks. I really do. But America is a stupid country. All right? I mean, sometimes when I see the epitome of ignorance, on YouTube, and let me tell you something, you want a good laugh, why don't you go to YouTube and, look up, stupid Americans, and you'll see people being interviewed asking the most simplistic questions that a third grader should know, and these morons are stumbling over their own tongue like Al Gore trying to explain how he invented the Internet. This is sad. Absolutely sad. And Jaded Man in the room said he's putting his money in gold. Let me tell you something. That's the best place to put it. At this point, I mean, what is gold now? What, $1,000 an ounce or some kind of garbage like that? I mean, are you kidding me? If this economy collapses, in my opinion, I think that would be the only source of barter, or the only source of, replacement currency is gold. I mean, seriously, what else would it be? I'm really scared for this country, folks, and this is why I try to get up on here and try to facilitate debates about these subject matters, because I don't know what in the blue hell is going to happen. Now, I'll tell you what I'm speculating. Obviously, right now, as we speak, people are blowing their tax refunds, I didn't get anything back from Uncle Sam. I actually had to pay those bastards, but you got to do what you have to do, right? But people are actually blowing their, couple of G's or 3,000. If you're a woman that's shitted out about a couple of kids and you're single, well, you're going to get $1,500 a kid because, well, that's the American way. And we like to reward dumb broads that like to be morally irresponsible. And we'll just go ahead and reward them with $1,500 a kid. You had John Turncoat McCain, this closet liberal, talking about how he wants to raise it. He wants to give these broads $5,000 a kid. But anyway, my point is that you got everybody spending their tax return or tax refunds right now, and that'll last until about May. And conveniently, May is when this whole economic stimulus package kicks in. And whatever you get from that, that's going to withstand us up until the summer, or through the summer. I shouldn't say to the summer, but through the summer. This economic stimulus package is, the money that's going to be given to the people. They're going to spend it throughout the summer, and that's going to create artificial job growth. Okay? And by the fall, it's going to look like the economy is getting a rebound. You're going to hear a lot of things in the fall. Yeah, the economy's rebounding because of the stimulus package and all this garbage. Okay? And everybody is going to go and say, hey, well, everything's back to normal. We're back at full employment. The economy's back. And then after Christmas, once everybody blows the last, and I'm telling you, this next Christmas is going to be the last good Christmas that anybody's going to have. And I'm not trying to be a scaremonger. I'm not trying to put fear in people's eyes, I'm not trying to do anything of that nature. I'm telling you the truth. Because after that Christmas, that's when this damn thing is going to implode. All right? And that's my speculation. Because, unless we start doing something about our deficit, unless we start doing something about, our dollar, instilling some integrity, I think that we're, I just think we're in trouble. And it's unfortunate. And that's why I try to tell people out here, it's still our government. It's still made for the people, by the people. And I think that we need to understand that unless we start calling our Congress people, unless we start calling our senators and say, hey, wait a minute. Wait just a minute. Why aren't we demanding from these Iraqi pieces of trash, all right? And when I mean Iraq, I'm talking about the government or this makeshift government that's over there, these idiots that are just sitting on their thumbs while our boys are getting killed because we're liberating their stupid asses. I'm not talking about the people. I know that the general Iraqi populace is taking a lot of losses, and it's sad and it's horrible and it breaks my heart. But I'm talking about these bureaucrats that got so-called elected in Iraq. I don't understand why we're not forcing these people to get that second largest oil deposit that they are standing on, taking some of that oil, selling it on the world market, and all those revenues generated on the world market goes right into the pocket of America to recoup all the costs that we've incurred liberating these people. I don't understand why more people aren't, jumping up and shouting for this. I just don't understand it. Why aren't more people hollering at presidential candidates, congressmen, senators? How come they're not demanding that we be repaid this deficit? All right? I just don't understand why. I mean, Iraq has the second largest oil deposit, and yet, what is it? Gas is $4.50 a gallon out here. The hell's that about? I mean, I just think that it's sad, man. I mean, here we are, American people, and I'm seeing a lot of people suffering out here. Believe me, the economy is crippling as I speak. I mean, everybody's paying higher gas costs. The electricity cost is going up. Healthcare costs is going up. I mean, you got goods out here going up because of this corn ethanol crap. You've got most foods that have corn related materials in it. That's going up too. I mean, everything's going up, damn it. And I don't understand why there's not more pissed off people. And people are going to go, well, Ghost, what are we supposed to do? Call your damn congressman. Call your senator. Write your president. I mean, are we all stupid out here? I mean, I know we are not the sharpest knives in the drawer in America. But are we that ignorant? I mean, really, are we that stupid? Are we that freaking stupid? I mean, this is why I tell everybody out there to encourage people to download and copy and print out the Constitution and carry it around on their person. Because it seems to me that nobody really gives two rats' asses about that document anymore. As a matter of fact, you've got our government basically wiping its ass with a lot of the amendments out there. I mean, you recently, I don't know if they've heard the case yet, but I know that the Supreme Court is actually going to hear a case on whether or not the Second Amendment is even viable, for Christ's sake. The Second Amendment, and you know what these idiots from Montana, because it's the state of Montana versus the United States, I believe. Or no, the idiots. Well, it's not whoever's pulling off this case. I don't know who it is exactly, but I've read the docket on it, and what they're justifying, trying to kind of discredit the Second Amendment. They're trying to say that the Second Amendment has been misinterpreted for the past couple of hundred some odd years. That the framers of the Constitution did not intend for the Second Amendment to be for the general American populace. No, we've been misinterpreting that. No, their argument is that the forefathers meant for the National Guard exclusively and only when writing the Second Amendment. And that's what the morons that are against the Second Amendment, that's what they're arguing in front of the Supreme Court. That, unfortunately, it was a misinterpretation. The forefathers didn't mean for the Second Amendment for the general American populace. They meant it exclusively for the National Guard. And that's horrible. I mean, and of course, nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to give a rat's ass. As long as everybody is consuming, as long as these liberals out here and these leeches get their subsidy checks every week, they could give a rat's ass. They could care less. Just as long as they get their end of the bargain, they don't care. And this is what's unfortunate, folks. This is our country, damn it. I got to lay down here. I mean, look, folks, I've been gone for a while because, I've had some health problems related to this show. I mean, anybody who's heard me knows that I scream my head off out here. I'm passionate about what I say. And it's caused me a little physical harm, but I don't give a damn. I mean, this is my country, damn it. It's your country too, man. And I don't understand why everybody in America seems to have their head shoved so far up their colon pipes that they don't know, all right? They don't know their asses from their elbow out here, man. I mean, come on, let's wake up. We can still fix this. I mean, take your heads out of your clogged up colon holes and call your congressman, call your senator. I just don't understand this, man. I mean, our dollar is worth diddly. It's not even worth the paper it's printed on, folks. Excuse me. mean, you have high-end retail stores in New York City right now that are no longer accepting American money. You know? I'm telling you this right now. There are high-end retail stores in New York City that won't accept Benjamins. All right? They're exclusively accepting euro dollars in America. Can you believe that crap? Can you believe this garbage that here in America you can actually go to a high-end retail store in New York City and they are going to reject you if you have American money? This is stupid, man. This is ridiculous. I mean, look, man, I love America. I'm a conservative, okay? I mean, I believe in the American dream. Well, at least I did. You know, the American dream seems to be null and void at this point because, like I said, the economic landscape in America is a pissing ground, with all due respect. I mean, you got 25 million illegal immigrants that are in this country right now that the United States government is basically going to give amnesty, all right? 25 million illegal immigrants in this country that are devaluing the cost of labor, okay? Why do you think wages are going down while prices are going up? I mean, don't you think that the prices of labor would go up with inflation? They haven't gone up with inflation. Now, why is that? Well, that's because the average American person that has been displaced because their jobs have been shipped overseas thanks to these imbalanced trade deals that were signed by these power-hungry autocrats that we send to Washington out here, these displaced workers have to compete with 25 million illegal immigrants that will work for $2 an hour and 80 hours a week, for Christ's sake. I mean, give me a break. I just don't understand this crap. And then we got a devalued dollar, folks. I mean, there's something that needs to be done about this. I don't understand why nobody else is talking about this except me. I don't understand why nobody's talking about the devaluing dollar out here. Now, how do we fix the devaluing dollar? Well, first and foremost, we need to eliminate some of this debt we're incurring thanks to the war out here, and these subsidies, and all this pork barrel spending, and all this crap. Now, I'm not against the war, folks, and I know that everybody's going to say, well, what are you, against the war? No, I wasn't. You can look back on my archives and see I was for this damn war. I'm not for the amount of money that my country is spending on this crap. All right? I mean, I don't understand why people that have the intellectual curiosity to understand what's going on out here, I don't understand why they're not hooping and hollering, throwing damn things out the window, calling their congressmen, calling their senators and saying, hey, wait a minute. How come we're continuing to spend $15 million an hour to fund this war when we're basically on the second largest oil deposit in the world, and that's Iraq? Why are we demanding these ridiculous bureaucrats that are in this Iraqi parliament or whatever this makeshift government is? Why are we demanding that they sell this crap on the world market and pay us back for liberating their unappreciative ass? Can somebody answer me that? Because I don't understand it at all. I don't understand why gas prices are going through the roof, and yet we're sitting on the largest oil or second largest oil deposit in the world. Can somebody explain that to me? Because I'm having a hard time comprehending such logic. 646-652-4869 is the number to call. I have a hard time understanding this and why nobody else is talking about it. Nobody's talking about it. They're not looking at the war with a full sphere of consciousness. All they're looking at is, oh, we got to get the terrorists. Well, hey, I'm against terrorists too. Believe me. I was for the war. I'm not for all this debt we're incurring because of it. Because it affects me. It affects you. It affects all of us out here. I remember a day you can go anywhere in the world. Anywhere. Doesn't matter where you were. You pull out American dollars, and it doesn't matter what language the other man that you're doing the transaction with has, he's going to know exactly what that American money does for him, and he's going to accept it. But nowadays, folks, the universal currency in the international community is no longer American money. It's the euro dollar. This is sick, man. This is absolutely sick. And I don't see it getting any better, folks. I don't understand why nobody else is talking about this. It's not going to get any better. We're not producing anything anymore. The only thing we produce is cheeseburgers and entertainment. And as you can see from the entertainment industry in this country, you got foreigners coming in here and taking over that arena. You got foreigners taking over the cheeseburger flipping arena. So what does that leave us? Doesn't leave us with much, folks. It doesn't leave us with much at all. And that's what scares me. We don't produce a damn thing. We have a devalued currency. We don't produce a damn thing. We got 25 million illegal immigrants devaluing the cost of labor. How are Americans going to get by here? They're not. And this is why I'm telling you, folks, you better get prepared. And I'm not trying to be some fearmonger out here. I'm just trying to let you know the obvious, because obviously everybody is, sitting over there putting a Kentucky Fried Chicken grease thumb up their colon pipes, testing the waters out on how hard they're going to get done up the tailpipe. Because that's exactly what's going to happen, folks, and I don't mean to be a scaremonger. I'm telling you, everybody right now, as we speak, are spending their tax returns right now. Their tax refunds, I mean. They're spending them off right now. They should be done with it about May. And what happens in May? Well, the economic stimulus package is given out to all of America. And what are they going to do with that? Well, they're going to spend it all summer. That's going to create artificial jobs and employment. It's going to create artificial growth. And around the fall time, everybody, and all the analysts here, and mark my word, on CNBC come fall time, come next fall, all these financial liberal media outlets are going to be like, well, we're seeing growth. Jobs are up, spending's up, everything's great. And they're going to have a big party about it. And everybody's going to feel like everything's great. And next Christmas, everybody's going to blow the last of their credit lines. And then after that Christmas, folks, it is all going to come tumbling down on our asses. And I'm not just saying that, like I said, to be a fearmonger out here. I'm saying that for the truth. Anybody who knows economics can see this. This economic stimulus package is one slippery slope down to socialism. When the government is trying to give the people money to go out and spend, that's socialism, folks. We are seeing and witnessing the dissolution and the decimation of the Constitution. Does anybody give a crap anymore? Literally. Does anybody care? Maybe everybody wants to live in socialism. Maybe I'm the only one out here that still believes in America, that believes in what the forefathers said, believes in the Constitution, believes in freedom. I just don't understand. It makes me sick to my stomach. My soul, it burns every time I try to think about what's going to happen to this country, man. And I don't understand why nobody else talks with this kind of passion, with this kind of fury. I don't understand, folks. Don't you love this country? This is your government, damn it. This was for the people, by the people. I don't understand why you're not calling this ridiculous crap we call a Congress out here. I don't understand why nobody's emailing this president out here, because I'm doing it. And let me tell you, they're trying to ignore me. But if there was enough of us that had the mental foresight to understand that this is still our government out here, they'd listen a little bit. But you see, we're all stupid, folks, and I hate to say that. I hate to say that about the American people, but it's obvious. Take a good whiff out of it. Go to your nearest shopping mall and take a good whiff of the ignorance out there. It's sick, folks. It really is. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and drink a water, because obviously my throat's getting a little rough from sitting here and trying to talk about these subject matters that nobody seems to give two rats' asses about. Anyway, folks, if you want to chime in something, by all means, give me a call right now. 646-652-4869 is the number to call. I'd like to thank you for tuning in with me. I've been absent from this show for some time already. And the reason I've been absent is because, well, I had a little bit of a health problem. That's right. Unfortunately, I got some high blood pressure problems because of this show. And all of you folks that have heard my show, whether it's live or on the archive, you know I get a little passionate. You know I get a little upset. But, I mean, that's only because I mean what I say what I mean. And I don't understand why nobody else is doing it either. I listen to these blog talk radio political shows out here, and they're a joke. They're an absolute joke. I mean, nobody's talking about anything out here. Nobody's talking about a damn thing. Nobody's talking about this economy. And I'm a businessman, folks. I own businesses out here. And that's why it concerns me, because, you know, whatever's going to cripple the economy on the workers' front is going to affect me. It's going to affect small business. The only people that isn't going to affect is they're not going to affect corporate America. And the reason it's not going to affect corporate America, folks, is because they're multinational now. They're global. If this economy sucks, all they got to do is rely on China's economy or Europe's economy or Australia's economy. These are multinational corporations. And if we keep going down the way we're going, I mean, like I said, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I hate conspiracy theorists. I live in Texas, and one of the biggest conspiracy theorists out and about, Alex Jones, is from Texas. And unfortunately, I get his damn broadcast over here where I'm located at. And he makes me sick because he's a fearmonger. He's a damn conspiracy theorist. This is a guy who's talking about how he's so anti-capitalist, and yet he's selling videos and books, for Christ's sake. I mean, you know, the damn hypocrisy. I just don't understand it. But, folks, the way it's looking, we are seeing something that is unprecedented that I have never seen before in my life. We are seeing the systematic destruction of America. Now, I don't know if it's purposely done. I don't know if it's accidentally done. I don't know what's going on here. But take a look around you. The economy's crippling. The dollar is worth diddly. The jobs are scarce. We consume more than we produce. I just don't understand why nobody can see these tail signs out here. You know? I don't understand it. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. This is another edition of True Conservative Radio, and if you want to chime in on something, by all means, give me a call, 646-652-4869. I see a couple of familiar faces in the chat room here, and some of them are asking, what in the blue hell happened to you, Ghost? Well, what happened to me, folks? Because of this show, and everybody who listens to me knows I get a little high-strung at times whenever I'm up on here. I end up screaming a little bit, doing, you know, breaking stuff in my own home. Anyway, unbeknownst to me, it was bad for my health. You know, it was bad for my health, and, you know, my blood pressure has risen, and I've had some problems because of it. But it isn't going to stop me from coming up on here. It is not going to stop me. I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to keep on trucking. And that's all there is to it. Anyway, folks, I just, you know, it just upsets me that nobody else talks about it. I don't understand why nobody else talks about this subject matter. I'd like to know from you. I mean, are you scared about our economy? Are you scared about what's going on in America? I mean, I wouldn't say scared, but do you have any concerns about it? Because there's no reason to fear it, because it's going to happen. And the reason it's going to happen is because of the ignorance of America. And I hate to say it, man. I hate to say that about my own country, because I love my country. I love the Constitution. But America is stupid, folks. I mean, if you ask the average American, they'll take an hour to cook minute rice. The average American would probably try to drown a damn fish. That's how stupid we are out here. And I'm being dead serious. I'm being dead serious about this. I mean, the average American high schooler, it was put out, I think, in a Reuters report or AP report or something of that nature, that the average person that graduates from high school believes that in World War II, the United States fought on the side of the Nazis, against the communists. And those are products of our public education system, folks. And let me tell you something, I hate public education. I hate it because it's the biggest farce of all time. And I get a lot of emails from teachers, you know. They hate me. The teachers hate me. I mean, they think that I'm the great Satan or some crap. Because I don't like public education. It's a farce. I mean, what are we spending? What is it, $19,000 a kid or something of that nature? $19,000 or some crap. $19,000 a kid, and yet the average private school costs $3,500 a year. Can somebody explain what's going on here? I mean, I think, in my opinion, what we need to do is just scrap it. Scrap public education. Privatize public education. Because privatization gives a financial incentive for the school to actually teach, to actually provide a social atmosphere. What in the blue hell happened here? Can anybody hear me? Did I just cut off or something? What's going on here? I'm seeing that it's saying something that it's waiting for the host to call in or some crap. Can y'all hear me? I don't know what in the blue hell is happening here to this blog talk radio crap, but it seems to me that I got knocked off. Can somebody in the chat room, can you tell me if you can hear me or not or anything of that nature? Because unfortunately, okay, you hear me? Thank you very much, Supersize. Because, of course, blog talk radio, I always seem to have problems with it because I guess they don't like what I have to say. Because I'm not Mr. Ed Morrissey over here. And I hate to keep bringing up that prick, but with all due respect, this guy's supposed to be the mouthpiece for Republicans, and he doesn't know his ass from his elbow. And as a matter of fact, I think he's a closet liberal, but that's just between you and me. But leaving Ed Morrissey aside, I'm just saying, folks, I mean, we just need to start talking about America. We need to start talking about subject matters that affect us as American people. I'm talking about the social landscape of America, how we are morally bankrupt. And I'm not basing morality on any religious principle, folks. I'm basing morality on a moral ethos, you know, like Aristotle defined it, you know. Aristotle defined moral ethos. And I think that we need some moral ethos in America because we don't. We have these communist methods of agitation, political correctness, feminism. These two methods of agitation, which were born at Frankfurt University by devout Marxists and communists. You can read this for yourself if you don't believe me. They're morally bankrupt in America. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I'll tell you what I mean by that, folks. In life, okay, excuse me, life has gifts, like free gifts that life gives to us. Life gives to us family. Life gives to us love. I mean, these are free things that life gives us. And you know what's corrupting these two things? The communists that basically are backing up the feminist movement and political correctness. And I talked about this a little bit in the beginning of the show, but I think it needs repeating because I don't think anybody understands the seriousness of what is happening here thanks to the feminist movement. Now, I'm an anti-feminist. I'm not ashamed to say it. Now, I acknowledge the suffrage movement at the turn of the 20th century. I understand the need for the woman to have herself the right to vote, the right to work, and I commend the suffrage movement at the turn of the 20th century. Those women were true patriots. But I'm talking about this Gloria Steinem crap, this hairy arm-pitted, bull-dyke garbage that has corrupted the mind of everybody. Every woman in America has been corrupted by this. Now, what do I mean? People are like, what are you talking about, Ghost? What are you, a chauvinist? What are you, misogynist? No, that's not true. I'm just speaking from the observational truth. Now, what's the observation? Well, haven't you noticed that relationships in the modern day, Western society, always comes down to finance nowadays? Haven't you noticed that? Now, I've been married a long time. I have grandchildren, I have children. And everybody who knows me knows that I run businesses. I have a lot of businesses under my repertoire, if you will. And what's unfortunate is that here I am. I'm sitting here employing 20-something-year-old males out here, all right? And what's happening out here is, I lost my train of thought. I'm looking at the chat room. Obviously, there's a few gentlemen in here that know what I'm talking about, and I'm sorry to hear that. There's somebody in here that said, well, my wife left me after 13 years for somebody with more money. I feel bad for you, my friend. I'd like for you to call me up and tell me about it. I don't know if this damn switchboard works because it's saying I'm not on the air, but here it is, 646-652-4869 is the number to call. But the feminist movement, folks, has warped the average woman mind into believing that they can go ahead and shit out about 5 or 6 kids from 5 or 6 different fathers, and that's woman liberation. All right? I mean, they've equated women that have, 5 or 6 divorces. Oh, that's woman liberation. You go, girl. I mean, they've equated woman liberation with subliminal prostitution. And like this feller in the chat room just alluded to, that his wife left him for somebody with more money, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, folks. This is what the feminist movement has done to the modern woman in America. And it's a shame. I mean, it's no coincidence that there is a big correlation between divorce and a man losing his job. I mean, there's no coincidence there. I mean, it all comes down to subliminal prostitution, and that's what the modern-day woman is in this day and age. Now, I hate to generalize once again, because I know there's some conservative women out there who still believe in the sanctity of marriage, who still believe in the family, who still believe in these moral principles. But for the most part, most of these females out here are morally bankrupt. They're morally bankrupt, and it's unfortunate. And I don't understand it. Excuse me. I understand that the feminist movement is out here trying to liberate women, but I thought the whole concept of feminism was equality. I don't see equality. Hold on just one second. Obviously somebody's calling up. Here, I'm going to close the switchboard and put it back up and see if I can get your call there, sir. My switchboard is kind of messing up here. Let me see if I got it. Nope, it's saying that waiting for host to call in, and I'm not getting any calls, thanks to the Blog Talk Radio Network. How convenient. I have nothing. I mean, it isn't even saying that I'm on the air. I'm glad you folks are listening in, and I'm sorry if you're calling in, and it's saying I'm having no calls whatsoever, and I'm sorry. But this is what I'm talking about, folks. The modern day feminist movement. And I feel bad for fellers out here. Am I for Hillary? Hell no, I'm not for Hillary. Somebody just asked if I'm for Hillary Rotten Clinton. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Man, it just frustrates me, folks, because I'm an American. I love America. But we're morally bankrupt. The feminist movement has ruined us, and political correctness. Oh, my God. I mean, this goes back to the public education system, and this is why I think the public education system should be scrapped. It should be eliminated. Because the public education system has been infiltrated by a bunch of feminists and liberals, okay? And people ask me, well, how did the public education system get infiltrated by liberals and feminists? Well, because it's a government-funded institution. These idiots that are employed for the public education system are living their communist dream. They're being paid by the state. But let me explain to you why, and I'll tell you what to look for. I challenge you, folks. If you don't believe me, if you think that I'm just falling off my rocker when I say this, I challenge you to go to your nearest elementary school, okay, and take a look at the playground out there. And take a look at how many children are out there playing dodgeball. Count how many children are playing tag. You're not going to find any, okay? You want to know why? Because they have eliminated those activities from children because of political correctness, folks. That's right. Political correctness now in school, there's no more losers in games. Haven't you noticed that? I mean, if you're playing some sort of math activity or some sort of history quiz game activity, there's no more losers. There's honorable mentions. Aww. I mean, come on. This is what's infecting our minds in America, folks. And these concepts, feminism and political correctness, folks, these are communist concepts. I'm not joking. You can look it up. Frankfurt University. Please look up that university. Please look up who founded that university. And look up the professors' works that professed at that university. And you're going to see how these people wrote about utilizing political correctness and feminism as a communist agitation method of propaganda. You're going to see that they wrote about this in the 30s. That's right. They wrote about this crap in the 30s, before it was even concepted, before it was even practiced. And I'm not joking. I mean, this was all pre-planned. If you think that this really looks all a little communist to you, it is. Communism is alive and well, folks. Now, of course, they're not going to say it's communism because, you know, communism is tied to Stalin and Mao Zedong and all that crap. And, of course, I got somebody asking me, what do we do about it? What do we do about it? Well, I'll tell you what we do about it. We don't take it anymore, folks. I mean, if you're a gentleman out there that's submitting to this feminist domination, don't do it. I mean, if you're a single man at the bar, don't buy these dish rag whores a drink. How about that? That's for starters. All right? I mean, if you're going out with a female and you're taking her out on a date and she happens to be employed, well, tell her to pick up half the bill. How about that? How about that? I just don't understand. I mean, this whole concept of feminism was supposed to mean equality, and if you take a good look at it, it seems to me that they're utilizing feminism for total domination. And if you don't believe me, take a good look at what's going on out here. Take a look at our gender-biased justice system. I mean, seriously. Take a look at the gender-biased justice system. Now, let's say you're with your significant other at your place. You get into some sort of loud verbal confrontation. And for whatever reason, things get a little physical. Now, I'm not saying that, somebody took a shot at somebody. I'm just saying, like, the woman grabbed onto you or, just something very minor that requires no kind of imprisonment or jail or anything of that nature. Well, the cops are called because your nosy-ass neighbors call them, okay? You know that if the woman in this day and age, if she even admits that you touched her, all right, touched her, you're going to jail under the domestic violence, whatever the hell it's called. I don't know if it's domestic violence laws. I mean, it's different from state to state. But I think that these domestic violence laws need to be scrapped. Bottom line. I mean, look, let's say an officer does get dispatched to an argument from a domestic situation, okay? He arrives on the scene, and the woman has a hematoma on her head the size of a damn fucking softball, okay? Well, couldn't that officer just take that idiot away for assault? I mean, why does there even need to be domestic violence involved? I mean, what is this whole concept of domestic violence? Well, I'll tell you what it is, folks. It is a liberal feminist propaganda to submit males to female domination. All right? I mean, that's what it is. And that's the bottom line. I know people are like, oh, my God, I can't believe he's saying this. Hey, look, I'm not saying that it should be okay to beat the living bejesus out of your wife. All right? I'm not saying that it's okay to tie your wife up and throw her in a closet. I'm not saying anything of that nature. All right? What I'm saying is that we need to understand the hypocrisy behind these laws that are out here. Now, that's just one instant, okay? Let's take a look at the divorce situation. Let's say you're a man and you work hard. You work your ass off. You're out there, putting food on the table, roof over your head, clothes on your family's back. And let's say you come home early one day, only to find your wife getting the high hard one by the idiot that looks good in a leather jacket down the street, okay? You walk into this and you're trying to be a man about it, and you say, well, you know what, we're divorced, that's all there is to it. You go, you file divorce, right? You file divorce, and what happens? Because this dish rag whore philandered on you, and because you're married to her, she automatically collects 50% of what you got. I mean, that's right. You take away 50%, even though she got penetrated by some other man within your presence, in your house, in your bed, that you work for, she's going to collect 50%. Now, let's go on with that, okay? Let's go on with that. Not only does this woman collect 50% of what you or what you got, also, she's going to get the kids, all right? 85% of the time in America, the woman gets the children. The woman could literally be a prostitute, and she's still going to get the children. Okay? So on top of the 50% that you have to give to the woman that cheated on you, now you have to give her child support because, of course, she's going to be the one with the children. Okay? Now, let's say alimony is legal in your state. Okay? Well, let's go down this road, okay? Not only because of your wife getting a high hard one from some idiot in your house, in your bed, not only do you have to give up 50% of everything you've got to this dish rag and slut bag and whore, but now you have to pay her child support, and if you have alimony in your state, you have to pay her alimony too, all because you were just being the good guy you are, going to work, coming home, and trying to support your family. But you see, the feminist movement puts it in these women's heads that, oh, well, you need to do this. This is your womanhood. It's your woman liberation. It's okay to do these things. And this is what sucks. This is what makes me want to puke up nasty chicken grease and corn oil and cream of wheat, because this is the moral bankruptcy that is happening in America. And I know that there's a lot of people that like to chastise me and hate on me because I'm bringing these subject matters to light. But the bottom line is that it's the truth, okay? This is a gender-biased government, a gender-biased justice system, a gender-biased social landscape, and this is why we are morally bankrupt in America, because we are morally bankrupt. I mean, single-parent families are the majority of America, okay? Most of American women, by the age of, 25, 26, already have 2 divorces. All right? I mean, this is it. This is it right here. And it's sad, folks. I mean, it really is sad. I mean, I just don't understand why nobody else talks about these subject matters. I mean, okay, and let's just leave the moral bankruptcy alone, okay? All right, fine. We are morally bankrupt in America. Well, what else is new? Well, at the same time, we have a government that is not having the United States people's best interest at hand. And, of course, you have a lot of people on everywhere from the blogosphere to the Blog Talk Radio Network to Internet websites that are praising these power-hungry autocrats that are in Washington right now. They're praising these idiots like they've got our best interest at hand out here. And they don't. They absolutely don't. I mean, we've got a deficit that nobody seems to give 2 rats' asses about, okay? We've got a devaluing dollar that continues to deplete itself as we continue to spend all this money on subsidies, pork barrel spending, and the war. We've got 25 million illegal immigrants that are basically devaluing the cost of labor out here. You've got outsourcing, you got imbalanced trade deals signed by these ridiculous power-hungry autocrats in Washington that basically signed over jobs to other countries. Communist China, India, South America, Mexico. We have set unprecedented economics, okay? And what I mean by that is we are consuming more than we produce. We produce absolutely nothing. You take all that into consideration, we are headed for economic disaster. Okay, so not only are we morally bankrupt, but we're headed for an economic disaster. I just don't understand. I just don't understand why nobody else is talking about these subject matters. All everybody's doing is praising these old prostate-infected windbags that are in Washington, basically accepting a free ride. I mean, I'm serious, folks. I mean, you got these old pieces of trash, that, you know, we send to Washington, and they think that they have, or we think they have our best interest at hand. Excuse me. And they don't. So, folks, we're morally bankrupt. Our government sucks. What else is new? Well, let's take a look at what's going on in the war. Now, I was for the war, folks, believe me. I'm still kind of for it. But I'm not for the $15 million an hour we're spending on it, okay? I mean, the American people aren't benefiting one bit by putting ourselves in debt $15 million an hour. That's what we're spending to liberate these pieces of trash out there in Iraq who could give a rat's ass about it. $15 million an hour. Now, I don't understand is here we are, we're occupying Iraq, the second largest oil deposit in the world, okay? Now, why aren't the American people demanding, whether it's from the president, whether it's from these ridiculous power-hungry autocrats in Washington, in the House and the Senate, why aren't the American people demanding that we take the oil that's in this country and force these autocratic pieces of bureaucratic crap that's called the Iraqi parliament, why aren't we forcing them to sell this crap on the world market and give us the profits? I mean, can somebody answer me that? I mean, I don't understand why we're not talking about these subject matters. I mean, I remember in World War II, the English paid us back with interest. All right? I mean, they paid us back with interest. And here we're not demanding anything from these ridiculous Iraqi pieces of garbage. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm not trying to discredit the Iraqi people, folks. I understand they're taking losses. I understand that they're out there being killed and that sort of thing, and it's a shame. But so are our people, all right? So are our soldiers. We're spending our money. Not even our money. We're borrowing it from fucking communist China, and we're spending it who the hell knows where, when, where it's going, how it's being spent, how it's being delegated, nothing. $15 million an hour. I mean, this is ridiculous. So, folks, just to be frank with you, I mean, I don't mean to be a fearmonger. I'm not trying to scare people. I'm just saying we better be prepared for something. I mean, if you think that these candidates for president are going to do anything for us, I mean, you might as well go ahead and stick a Kentucky Fried Chicken grease thumb up your shit funnel, because that's going to give you some practice on how hard you're going to get done up the tailpipe here in the next coming years. All right? Give yourself some practice. Loosen yourself up a little bit. All right? That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. I mean, give me a break. And I know that I see somebody here posted up in Alex Jones' website. Let me tell you something about Alex Jones. Alex Jones is the biggest fraud. I'm out here in Texas, okay? I listen to his broadcast all the time. All right? The man is just a fear-mongering jerk-ass. He's sitting here criticizing capitalism. He criticizes the system that we live by, and yet what is this idiot doing? He's selling videos. I mean, he's utilizing this, you know, ridiculous notion of conspiracy theories to generate himself profits. I mean, that I don't understand why nobody else sees the hypocrisy. I just don't understand that. I mean, I hate Alex Jones. I think he's a moron. I mean, I really do. I mean, I live by Austin, Texas. And this idiot with his bullhorn, he's always out, you know, talking about this, talking about that, yelling about this, yelling about that. He's an egotistical ass crack. All right? I mean, he's selling videos and books and access to his website, for Christ's sake. I mean, this guy's a capitalist, and yet he's criticizing capitalism. Anyway, that's enough about Alex Jones, because I don't like the piece of trash. He's a farce. He's ridiculous. He's a fearmonger. He's stupid. I mean, he really is. But the only reason I brought him up is because a couple of folks are in here talking about him, and I just wanted to discredit the piece of crap. I mean, seriously. I mean, look, I understand that we're in some precarious times. I understand that right now our economy is dwindling. But that has a lot to do with corporate influence and the fact that the American public is a damn buffoonery. All right? That's why our country's going down the tubes. All right? I mean, this is what it comes down to. We have two spheres of consciousness when it comes to our government. The sphere of consciousness of democracy. And what is democracy? Well, democracy is when a people can voluntarily choose their own leaders. Okay? Now, what's unfortunate is that our second sphere of consciousness is capitalism. And what people aren't really understanding is that they are abiding more and more by this capitalist side of the brain than they are the democracy part of the brain. I mean, they're sitting over here basically giving the capital interest to these corporations based on this capitalist principle of them moving ahead or some crap. And they're completely flushing down democracy down the toilet. And if you don't believe me, just take a look at the bills that are being passed by our Congress, by our government. I mean, what is it? I mean, we're hearing a Supreme Court case right now that is trying to take away the Second Amendment. I mean, the government's arguing that the Second Amendment was misinterpreted for 200-some-odd years, and that what the original framers of the Constitution intended was that the National Guard was supposed to be the exclusive people to bear arms. The forefathers didn't mean the general masses. The forefathers didn't mean the general American public have the right to bear arms. No. No, it was exclusively meant for the National Guard. That's what the government's trying to say in front of the Supreme Court. And let me tell you something, everybody should keep their eye on this damn case. I mean, we're seeing our freedoms being wiped off. And everybody, what is everybody doing? Well, they're watching the media, okay? And what is the media telling us? Well, they're telling us the latest animal on Paris Hilton's crotch. I mean, they're giving us crotch shots of bald-ass Britney Spears. I mean, this is what the media is covering, folks. And, okay, I knew Newt was going to say, oh, this is a republic, not a democracy. Of course it's a republic. The foundation of our democracy is a republic. It's a constitutional republic. And I know that you're trying to, make yourself sound intellectually superior by pointing that out. But if you want to have a political debate with me, I mean, let's have it. I understand that this is a constitutional republic. The essence of our democracy is a social contract. But you see, the whole premise of our republic is democratic. It's democracy. We go and choose our leaders. By definition, that is a democracy. So, just to let you know. But the bottom line is that we need to start focusing on, I mean, screw these collateral matters. Who cares if it is a republic or a democracy? It's a people's government, all right? I mean, the Constitution was written with unalienable human rights that weren't given to man prior to this document. This is a very important document right here. All right, and I don't understand why nobody is taking advantage of the fact that we have these freedoms. I mean, we have these freedoms. And I don't understand why nobody else is hooping and hollering about them being taken away from us. I've been chastised by many folks on here because I'm not going to vote for anybody in the presidential candidacy. Well, because first of all, you're getting liberalism regardless of what you do. Haven't you noticed that most of these all these candidates are similar? The only thing that differentiates John McCain from any of the Democratic or people on the Democrat side, is the fact that supposedly McCain is pro-life, which I don't believe. And then again, John McCain is for the war. That's the only thing that separates the two these candidates running for president out here. And I'll be damned if I vote for a damn liberal. I'm not going to vote for a liberal, all right? I mean, liberalism has infected the Republican Party. That's why I've taken the Republican out of this show's name. I'm not going to sit here and continue on with the Republican in the name of my show when it's no longer Republicans anymore. It's not Republicans anymore. This is liberalism at its finest here. Take a good whiff of it. I mean, here we are. And speaking of gender bias, you know, we just got through tax season over here. People are just barely getting back their tax refunds. And every woman that has shitted out about 5 or 6 kids, they're going to get about $1,500 a kid coming back to them with a tax return. I'm serious, folks. You don't believe me, look it up. They're going to get $1,500 a kid out here. Well, you know what John Turncoat McCain wants to raise that to? $5,000. He wants to give these women that have shitted out kids like they're going out of style like a damn bakery factory, he wants to give them $5,000 a kid. He actually wants to reward the decimation of the American family. I mean, that's what sucks. And this is liberal in nature, folks. This is liberal in nature. No, well, I don't think so. Somebody said that he's going to do that for single fathers. I don't think so. If you look at his stump speeches, and you can go look him up for yourself on YouTube or any other video content-related site, and you're going to see that this idiot says nothing about single-parent fathers. He says single mothers should get $5,000 a child. He said it. I mean, you can look at his stump speeches. If somebody else can come up with something else, if you've got a YouTube of some other speech that John McCain did talking about single fathers, I'd love for you to give me the link. But he could give a rat's ass about single dads. As a matter of fact, single dads get the shaft in this America. I mean, bottom line, remember, we're living in a gender-biased society out here. We're living in a gender-biased society, and what does that mean? Well, that means that the man, regardless of what happens, regardless of how unequal the situation is on the gender front, the man just has to take it and like it, and that's all there is to it. Haven't you noticed that? The man just has to take it and like it and shut up. And that's what sucks. That's what's horrible, man. I mean, I don't understand why nobody else, all right? I don't understand why nobody else talks about these subject matters, man. Everybody's too busy talking about, oh, Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. Who gives a crap about these liberal pieces of Marxist crap? All right? Who cares about who's going to win the election? You're getting liberalism anyway. Who gives a rat's ass? I'm sick of these people talking about the damn election. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. Absolutely, utterly sick. I mean, I just don't understand it, man. I don't understand what the mentality is in America today. I mean, doesn't anybody give a shit about America anymore? I mean, seriously, doesn't anybody give a crap about America? I mean, or is everybody just too stupid to understand what is happening out here? I mean, you notice how everybody who criticizes me, and believe me, I've been gone for a while, but before I left, all right, before I left, I had people dedicating whole shows to yours truly over here, chastising me, criticizing me, spreading slanderous lies and personal attacks about me, because I won't vote for any of these pieces of trash running for president. I'm not going to vote. I am not going to vote. Because, I mean, either way you look at it, it's liberalism, man. I'm not going to vote for a liberal. I mean, it's liberalism that has ruined America. Political correctness, feminist movement. I mean, this is what's ruined America, folks. And I don't understand why everybody out here, and I hear all these idiots out here, with all due respect, I hear a lot of people out here that say, well, I don't like McCain, but I'm going to vote for him anyway because I'm loyal to the party. I'm loyal to the party, so I'm going to vote for John McCain, and that's all there is to it. I mean, is that America? I mean, is that what America's come down to? A bunch of lab rats running to food pellets? I mean, is this what it comes down to? Nobody has any kind of concept of freedom of thought anymore? I mean, remember freedom of thought? That's something we had back in the day. Remember that? Man. I mean, I got to lay down, man. I just, or sit down or lay down or something because I'm starting to get some high blood pressure here. For all you folks that have wondering where I've been, I've had some health problems due to this show. And anybody who looks back in the archives, they'll know that I get a little hyper. Sometimes I scream a little bit. Sometimes you can hear that blood pressure get that vessel and that vein in my head popping out so much that it may just, pop out and be like a damn jugular vein, unloading blood all over the place. But, man, sometimes, like I said, I lay down and I have to take a deep sigh, just... And I say to myself, man, I mean, where have we gone? Where are we going? The only thing I can figure is that we're going to go into something that was a concepted thought. And I don't know if you people are familiar with the North American Union concept. Now, this was thought up by a think tank, okay, the North American Union. But now, because we're signing all these prosperity acts with Canada and Mexico, we just signed a damn military agreement with Canada. If there ever happens to be an upheaval or any kind of revolution or rebellion or anything of that nature in America, well, the Canadian military has carte blanche to come in and suppress it. I mean, and this is a fact, folks. You can look that up. It was in the Vancouver newspaper. It was in February. The Canadians, these maple leaf, moose-humping pieces of trash, can now come into our country if there happens to be some sort of an upheaval. And vice versa. Americans can go in there and, go beat up a couple of moose humpers up there. All right? Now, if you're Canadian, I'm sorry, I don't mean any disrespect, but I hope that I light a fire under some of you Canadians' asses so that you can remain a sovereign nation. Because if you look at the European Union, folks, the European Union was a concept thought up by a think tank as well. And at first it was just an illusion. It was just an illusion. But and look it up. I challenge you, go out to any of these online encyclopedias and look up the European Union and take a look at the steps it took to finally reveal itself. And you'll see that it started off with trade agreements. It started off with acts and agreements with countries. And henceforth, before you knew it, the European Union unified Europe under one currency. And that's what sucks, folks. I think that's exactly what's happening to America here. I mean, we're signing way too many agreements with Canada and Mexico. And I'm here in Texas, folks. I'm at the front lines of this horse crap. I'd like to challenge you all to look up something called the I-35 corridor, or what is best known as the NAFTA Superhighway. The NAFTA Superhighway is the I-35 corridor. Now, here in Texas, I-35 basically comes out of Mexico, and what's going to happen, they're building I-35 all the way down into South America. It's going to go up through South America. It's going to go into Mexico. It comes in through Texas. And through Texas, it basically tentacles out to all the major highways all the way into Canada. Now, what's happening out here? What is happening is you're having this new eminent domain law that was enacted thanks to the Supreme Court ruling in sometime this past 8 years. It was after the year 2000. This eminent domain law basically allows the government to go in, and these are families that have owned land since Texas was its own country, folks. I mean, that's how long the land goes on out here, okay? But the government, the federal government, is taking away these people's lands that they have to build this I-35 corridor crap. Now, let's take a look at who's building that piece of crap. Well, is it being built by an American company? Hell no. Hell no. It's being contracted by a Spaniard company, folks. A Spaniard company. And why is the Spaniard company from Spain building this piece of crap? Well, because they're going to charge a toll to travel through the I-35 corridor, folks. And when everybody in America travels this damn freeway, whether they're coming in from Mexico, from Texas, from Canada, doesn't matter where you're coming from, you're going to have to pay a toll. And where is that toll going? Is it going to go into the Texas state taxes? No. Is it going to go into the federal government taxes? No. It's going to go right into the pocket of the owner of the Spaniard company that is building this piece of crap. And, folks, if you don't believe me, I challenge you to go look that up yourself, too, folks. I never say anything that isn't true on this program. Everything I say is true, and I'm not asking you to believe me. I'm asking you to go out and look for yourself. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, folks. This is what I'm talking about. We have to be worried about what's going on here. Why do you think this government is not too concerned about closing the borders? Why do you, I mean, here we are supposedly in a state of terrorist alert, and yet our borders are wide open for any Tom, Dick, and Harry to cross through and set up shop out here. I mean, don't you notice that? Don't you find that kind of ironic? It's because they're trying to jeopardize the integrity of America. Now, what does that mean? It means that they're trying to eliminate the whole concept of American culture by integrating us with Mexico. Because that's the whole plan, in my opinion. And I'm not saying that to be a damn conspiracy theorist. I'm saying that based on the legislation passed, based on the agreements that have been signed, based on the trade deals that have been accepted by all three of these countries, Canada, Mexico, and the United States. And let me tell you something, folks. If you compare all the legislation and all the treaties and all the acts and all the trade deals, you compare all that to what happened pre-European Union, and you're going to see an eerie similarity out here. A very eerie similarity about what's happening. And I'm just speculating based on observation. I mean, take a look at the concept of a new unifying currency, the Amero. And the only reason that I'm bringing this up, folks, is because I'm in Texas, and I am seeing it firsthand right here. I'm at the front lines of what in the hell is going on out here. And they even talked about the Amero on CNBC. And I mean, how much more proof do you need? I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. I mean, have we all gone mad? Have we all just forgotten about our freedoms? I mean, folks, I love America, man. I'm the truest of patriots. But I think it was Frederick Douglass that said, you know, patriotism can't be blind, man. You can't be blind by what in the hell is going on around you. You've got to be critical about this crap. You can't turn a blind eye to what's going on. And you see, what's unfortunate is that, look, I know there's a lot of people that are saying in the chat room that everybody's too scared to stand up. I'm not talking about taking action, man. All right? I'm not talking about going out and doing something crazy. I'm just talking about acknowledging it. All right? Calling your congressmen, calling your senators, writing the president. I mean, that's all it takes, man. And you see somebody's talking about organizing a march. Marches don't do shit, man. I mean, marches don't do anything anymore. This ain't the 60s. I mean, it ain't going to work anymore. I mean, you've got a media that will basically mold the minds of everybody. When the media basically covers a march, what do? What do? They try to find the most hostile part of the march where police are asserting themselves and their brutality that they're known for. And they film this, and what do the liberals and the gatekeepers of media do? Oh, they say, well, hey, these were hooligans. The whole march was a farce. These people were hooligans. And they discredit anybody who marches out here. Haven't you noticed that most of these people that march out here, they always happen to have some sort of skirmish that the media just broadcast over and over and over again? It's sad, man. It's absolutely disgusting. All I'm saying is, folks, is take a better role in your government. Remember, this is for the people, by the people, before they rid us of that as well. And we elect these pieces of crap. We elect these senators. We elect these congressmen. We elect these people. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, why aren't more people calling these damn politicians and giving them a piece of their damn mind? I mean, provide substance, man. And if they give you the wrong answers, if they don't give a crap about you, call your local media. Call your newspapers. If you want to organize a march, why don't you organize an organization? And that's how you'll make a difference. And there's empirical evidence that when push comes to shove, if the general American populace gets behind an idea, the government will crack. I mean, look at the Civil Rights Movement, folks. The Civil Rights Movement was enacted and signed by a president, Lyndon Baines Johnson, that is historical racist. It's been proven that this man was a historical racist, and yet Lyndon Baines Johnson signed in the Civil Rights Act. Why? He did it because enough of the general American populace wanted this. They wanted this problem to be rectified, and Lyndon Baines Johnson submitted to the pressure. So this goes to show you that there is empirical evidence that, you know, if we make enough ruckus, and I'm not talking about a small sect of society, I'm talking about the general American public. And I'm telling you, the government will crack, but you see, we are so stupid as Americans, and it's not really our fault. It's the ridiculous public education system that completely takes out critical thinking and cognitive reasoning. It's the liberal media that has us anesthetized with worrying about what animals on Paris Hilton's crotch and ridiculous crap like that. It's this government that's basically telling us that, you know, we're nothing but a bunch of Nimrods and we need to take their word for it. It's the institutions erected to basically keep us in line and all that nonsense. I mean, where's the freedom? Where's the damn freedom? I just don't understand it. I have no idea. And let me tell you, if you want to rebel, the first thing you should do is not watch the damn media, all right? Don't watch it. I mean, here we are, we're on the Internet, all right? The Internet, there are billions and billions of different libraries, outlets, independent news sources that are on the Internet. They're at your fingertips. Anybody who uses the boob tube for their news gathering and information is intellectually lazy, folks. This is the greatest tool ever to hit mankind, the Internet. Because not only does it allow us to provide ourselves unlimited amount of knowledge, but it gives us the opportunity to communicate on a world scale. So we can relay ideas. So we can debate and talk, whether people agree or disagree. And nobody's using that. You know what they're using the Internet for? Pornography. Yeah, kitty porn. I mean, adding more subjects to Chris Hansen's To Catch a Predator, that's what the Internet's being used for by the general American populace out here. And it makes me sick. It makes me utterly sick to my stomach. And I'm telling you, I mean, that's all there is to it. Anyway. All I'm saying is, folks, is that we have to have a new direction in life. We have to have a new direction in our government as a people. And the sooner we realize that, the sooner that we are going to stop this oppression that is happening. And I'm not saying it's blatant oppression. We're not living in communism yet. We're not living in socialism yet. But, hey, what are you going to do? And Newt one, I understand, believe me. There's a lot of sheeple out there that are just, you know, getting on their couches, watching the boob tube and not giving a rat's ass about anything. Just as long as those subsidy checks are in the mail every week, or they're out there working for their peanuts so they can put themselves in debt with credit, that's all they worried about. And I don't understand it, man. I don't understand it. I love America. I love the American Constitution. I love my American heritage. I've got ancestry that traces back to world wars, civil wars, revolutionary wars. I'm from Texas. Let me tell you something, man. We were our own country at one time. That's why we're so peculiar as a people. But even the Texans out here are becoming a bunch of idiots. All right? And it's sad, man. Anyway, folks, I'm literally done talking here because it makes, I literally want to puke up right now. But you can get back to me at blogtalkradio.com/ghost. And by all means, bookmark that. I don't know when the next show I'm going to have because I've been gone for about a month or so. But bookmark that page, and I guarantee you, add me as a favorite, do whatever it takes, and it'll email you every time I have a show. And whether you're listening to me live or in the archive, I really appreciate your patronage. Whether you like me, whether you hate me, whether you agree with me or disagree with me, all I ask is that everything that you hear on this program, try to discuss it. Have discussions about it. Go to social arenas and talk about it. I mean, talk about these things with your family. Talk about them with your friends, your colleagues. I mean, that's all I'm saying. And ask them what they think about it. Ask them what they think about the crippling economy, the devaluing of the American dollar, the crippling of the value of labor, the 25 million illegal immigrants that are ruining the jobs that are left for Americans displaced by outsourcing. What they feel about the moral bankruptcy of America, what they feel about the feminist movement corroding the woman's psyche and equating women liberation with subliminal prostitution. Just ask these questions, and you'll get some peculiar answers. And before I leave here, folks, I beg you, please stop ignorant people. And how do you stop them? Well, whenever you're in a social arena, whenever you're in a social setting, whenever you're hearing a bunch of people talk, whether it's about, you know, current events, politics, so whatever, and you blatantly hear somebody talking nonsense, talking a bunch of crap that they know nothing about, and yet they have the longest opinion about it, and I know that you've ran into a couple of these jagoffs, believe me, I know you have. Don't let them slide by just saying, yeah. I mean, call these ignorant pieces of trash out. Call them out. And say, wait a minute, I don't think you know shit from Shinola, buddy. All right, because what you're saying is an absolute bunch of horse crap. And then tell them why and put them in their place. And I know that people may be a little uncomfortable of doing this because you're going to hurt some people's feelings, but screw hurting people's feelings, folks. All right? You know, if you're worried about hurting people's feelings, then you're submitting to the communist method of agitation of political correctness. Screw political correctness. Screw the feminist movement. I'm talking about America, and we need to start talking about subject matters that are going to affect all of us as American people. All right? I mean, these ridiculous idiot candidates running for president aren't talking about any issues about America. They are saying blanketed statements. They are saying ignorant-ass, ridiculous talking points that mean absolutely nothing. They're not talking about any plans to help the economy. They're not talking about any agendas that they're going to have. They're not talking about a damn thing. You got this bull dyke Hillary Clinton over here with these bad hairdos and her cross eyes over here talking all this garbage. You got Barack Hussein Obama. All he's talking about is change, change, change. And I think that he's talking about the change in your pocket that's going to be left over once you're taking it up the tailpipe thanks to the crippling economy. You got John Turncoat McCain. I don't think he even knows what he's talking about. I mean, he got that damn liberal Joe Lieberman whispering in his ear like some damn pill biter or some crap. All I'm saying, folks, is that whatever you hear on here, just relay it, man. I mean, even if you disagree with me, just talk about it. This is a democracy while we still have it. Talk about these subject matters. These are serious subject matters, folks. This is not a joke, man. I mean, if you really love America, if you really want what we know of as America to continue, well, then you need to have these discussions so they can pay it forward, so they can talk about it, and those people can talk about it, so we can finally do something for Christ's sake. This is a government made for the people and by the people, but it seems to me that the people have fallen asleep at the wheel, and they're not worried about a damn thing just as long as they have a boob tube and a beer. And we need to wake up, folks. We need to wake up, take our heads out of our clogged up asses, all right, and start looking at the real world for what it really is, folks. And what it really is that it doesn't have our best interests at hand. And what I mean by our best interests, I'm talking about the American people. And I know that there's a bunch of lazy-ass, ignorant pieces of crap, okay? I understand this. Believe me. I mean, sometimes it gets me a little down. Sometimes when I see these ignorant pieces of garbage in America, it has me kind of looking down on American people. But we can't. We can't do that. All right? Because whoever's manipulating this situation, the economic situation, the government situation, the social landscape situation, that's what they want us to do. They want us to go ahead and look at each other and be like, well, who gives a crap about them? Because they want us against each other. That keeps us preoccupied for whatever the hell, whether it's corporate America, whether it's power-hungry interest, whatever it is that's ruining America, it's keeping them in power. It's keeping them pulling all this crap forward. And we can't let them do it anymore, folks. We got to worry about America, everything for America, and for American people. Okay? And I hope that if you take anything from this program, I hope that you take that you have to do whatever it takes for America. And I mean that, folks. I mean that. If you're living here in America and you still want to live the way you want to live, well, you need to do something. And marching and doing any of this ridiculous garbage, it ain't going to work. You've got to organize people, okay? Organize a group of people and call your local congressman. Have like 80 people call that piece of trash. And ask them what they think about these subject matters. What are they going to do about the damn economy? Why don't you force one of these senators or these congressmen, because they ain't doing anything anyway except going out and seeing prostitutes, why don't you tell them to write some legislation that will actually help this country? That's all I'm saying, folks. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, folks, thank you all for tuning in with me. I appreciate it. Please bookmark the page, www.blogtalkradio.com/ghost. That's Ghost. Bookmark that page, folks. Add me to your favorites, whatever the case might be. I'm pretty erratic on my shows because, well, actually, I've been off for a while. And like I said, the reason I've been off, folks, is because, well, this show has caused me a little bit of a high blood pressure problem. But it isn't going to stop me, folks. I took a little bit of a sabbatical, but I'm coming back. I don't really have a set schedule, so please, by all means, please bookmark the page in question. Add me to your favorites, and it'll send you an email every time I have a live show. And if you happen to miss me, folks, please, by all means, check out the archive. We have great shows on there, a lot of heated debates, a lot of arguments. You're going to hear me screaming my damn head off, me breaking crap in my own home, because I'm passionate about this crap. I'm passionate, all right? I mean what I say what I mean, all right? This is not just some idiot up on here trying to utilize Blog Talk Radio as some sort of a generating revenue piece of crap. I could care less if I make money on this crap. As a matter of fact, I just got a royalty check for 50 cents. Thanks a lot, Blog Talk Radio, you fucking milky liquor. Anyway, folks, thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate it. Bookmark the page. Send me an email. My email's on there, whatever the case might be. Be on the lookout for me. I'm back. I'm coming back crazier, harder than ever, and telling it like it is. And I appreciate your patronage. Anyway, I'm out, folks. Thank you all for listening. Long live the conservative movement and death to feminism. And I'm out.
Boar's Head is bringing a slice of Japan to the deli. Introducing Boar's Head Ichiban Teriyaki-style chicken. Tender, slow-roasted chicken breast, coated in our signature teriyaki glaze, where ginger, garlic, and a hint of brown sugar meet for a flavor that's both sweet and savory. New Boar's Head Ichiban Teriyaki-style chicken. The bold flavor of Japan. Now at the deli. Only from Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.